Hey everybody, Doug Rucker here with PressureWashingSchool.com and DougRuckerStore.com. Hey, a week or so ago, a couple of weeks I think it's been since I've done a video, I told you I was going to do one on the toolboxes and tools and things that I carry around in my truck. So I've got that coming up for you next. Okay guys, so the first thing I'm going to show you, I got about, I don't know, four different little toolbox things that I carry around that I'll show you. The first one is kind of my, I guess my repair center, things that I would need on a job to help with water flow or to get water, or things, you know, little things that I might have to make little repairs, little parts and stuff like that. Not actual tools, but just parts and accessories that I would need on a job. And so I have this little toolbox. It's actually a tackle box back from my fishing days. And so I use that. I used to use, or I have used, these little compartment trays before. They're okay, but I can't see, you know, you have to have like 2 or 3 of those things and go through them and remember what's in each little compartment, and they're just kind of a pain to me. So I like this toolbox because I can grab it, set it on the tailgate of the truck, and everything is in here that I need for what's in here. And so on the first tray, I just kind of go through this. These are water keys that we use to get water turned on at commercial properties. We have that style. I have one of these. We also have one of these. So those are the things that help us get water on commercial properties. These are the ones that we use the most often. These are vacuum breakers, and anytime you have one of those little water supplies that's in a recessed into the wall, you'll use one of these or one of these to not only open them but also to turn the water on. But a lot of times they're missing, so you can get these off of Amazon. A lot of this stuff I get off of Amazon, and I have Amazon affiliate links that we'll list down below in the description, but they're also on my website under Doug's Link Deals. They are affiliate links. I do earn a small commission if I make 20 or 30 bucks a month off my affiliate program. That's a lot. It's not something I really push, but when people ask me where I get stuff, sometimes off of Amazon, I have that so I can send links to people pretty quickly. So that's that. Got a little utility knife in here. This is just a little 6-inch piece of copper pipe set up for 1/4-inch fittings that basically I can use on a soft wash gun if I want to. And what happens is, because this is kind of straightening out the stream as it's coming out versus just having the nozzle right there, it'll give me a little bit more distance and just kind of straighten the stream out a little bit. So I use that sometimes, but not all the time. It's just a thing that I use when I need it. But you can get these at Home Depot or Lowe's. It's just something I keep around in case I ever need it. Got some strainers here for downstreaming out of our bucket or tanks or whatever. Some Teflon tape, lock seal for attaching fittings or whatever to the I still use a lock seal. I'm an old timer. I've used it for many, many years. Don't see any need to change now. Works great. Then we have a few of these which are used to connect our hoses, whether it's sometimes residential or whether it's commercial. They're just water valve shutoffs and ons, so we can split and run 2 hoses if we need to. Then we have single ones. I use these predominantly on like a 4-gallon per minute machine or something. I'm force feeding a machine. Just makes it easier to turn the water off to the machine so I can bleed the pressure out and restart it, you know, rather quickly or whatever when I need to. And then there's a little pick in here just in case I need it. So that's shelf number 1. Shelf number 2, we have a pressure gauge for testing pressure. These are 2 little fittings that we built several years ago. Sometimes we have to try to get water, especially on the HOA jobs, out of the irrigation backflow preventer. That thing that comes up in kind of a U shape out of the ground. So sometimes we get water out of that, and that's what we use for that. Then we've got some hose, garden hose washers. This is a little adapter that Raimondo made up for, occasionally we'll have a job or we'll have a machine that could get vapor locked or air locked inside the pump, basically a big old air bubble. And so we can hook this up to a water hose and hook it up to our machine and force that out of there, because what will happen is just nothing will come out of the pump. It predominantly happens on a brand new machine. Occasionally, I mean like very, very rarely it will happen, but it happened on my new 5-gallon per minute machine over there, the hot water, where it just wouldn't suck water, so we had to force water through the pump using the garden hose. And so that's what that's for. That's not something you necessarily always have to have, but it's happened to me, so I keep it around. Got some O-rings in here, and then also, of course, a dental set pick. The O-rings and the dental set pick you can get off of our website. And then these are just a couple of adapter things that I've made up along the way. I've got several of these. These just allow me to put on my ball valve setup like this, so that if I want to just soft wash downstreaming and not have a gun, then this is 3/8 with a little 3/8 to 1/4 inch adapter, and then a 1/4 inch fitting, so I can put my J-rod on here, and I don't have to use a gun or anything, or I could put any fitting on there, any nozzle on there that I wanted. So that's what these are for. Just allows me to work without a gun, basically. But I never use high pressure nozzles on these, only the soap high and soap low nozzles, because you don't want to use high pressure without a gun. It's just not safe. So that's that tray. And then in here, I'll pull these out. This is what it looks like. But I have a spare ball valve setup just in case we ever need it. And then here I've got a ball valve setup with a 1/4 inch fitting, again an adapter that's going from 3/8 down to 1/4 inch. And again, if I wanted to use just the ball valve like this setup, which I rarely do for my J-rod, because sometimes you have to go back to a surface cleaner or whatever, but this was mainly built for sewer jetting. I can hook the 3/8 hose into here, and then coming out of here I can use our I shouldn't say sewer jetting, drain jetting. We don't do sewer lines or anything, but pool drain lines, gutters, things of that nature. We can hook our 1/4 inch drain hose up to this, and then I can operate turning it on and off when I need to using the ball valve. I think this is on our website called the ball valve jet setup or something like that. Okay, so I actually have another ball valve set up somewhere that goes in here, but I've taken it out and done something with it. And then in this little canvas bag, I have just some injectors, different injectors that I might need, just backup injectors with check valves on them, some with check valves, some without. So I always keep 3 or 4 ready to go. Got a couple not ready to go, just in case. You never know what you run across. But those are basically spare downstream injectors, so that if one goes bad on a job, we can just simply replace it rather quickly than trying to diagnose or repair or whatever. And here we got some hose clamps in case we ever need that. We've got some banjo fittings in case we ever need to replace a banjo fitting. There's the other ball valve setup. Told you I had 2 in there. So got some spare nozzles that we use. That little thing you can get off Amazon too. I don't ever use it. I haven't used it in years, but got some spare nozzles just in case I need them. And then we have a bag each of all of our fittings. There's some more hose clamps. There's some surface cleaner nozzles. So anytime we have a plugged nozzle, we don't spend time trying to unplug it. We just take it out and put a new one in. And then these are all, have all the fittings that we might need, 1/4 inch and 3/8 fittings all bagged up, ready to go. So there's all kinds of different 3/8 fittings and 1/4 inch fittings in there. And then I have a foamer, which this thing's probably 10 or 15 years old. Rarely, if ever, use it other than to make a little dog and pony show to sew a bunch of soap or suds or foam or whatever onto a surface. But it's rare that, I mean, it's just not needed for roof cleaning or building washing or whatever. It doesn't really do any good. So anyway, that's the main toolbox. So we'll get to the next one next. Let me clear this off and pull the other one over. All right, just a quick little reminder for you coming up. Don't forget, January 11th is our next hands-on training right here in Houston, Texas. And then February 6th and 7th is the Difference Makers Business Conference. That's going to be me, Jeffrey Blackman will be here, Pat Clark, Ray Burke, also Kelsey will be here along, talking about money matters, P&L statements, balance sheets, everything you need to know about your company from an accounting perspective. For all of that, you can just go to pressurewashingschool.com, and the schedule is right there, pressurewashingschool.com/events. You can get to all of the events coming up. And then also, after the Difference Makers Conference on February 8th, will be our hands-on training for February. That's our monthly training that we do every month, just like in January. So if you wanted to come to the Difference Makers Conference and then stay for hands-on training, you can do that, because the Difference Makers Conference is nothing about cleaning. We're not teaching how to clean. We're teaching all about how to build and grow your business from a business perspective. So we'll be talking about money matters. We'll be talking about how to get commercial properties, high-end residential sales, building a team, because a lot of you guys will be brand new, but you need to learn from Pat Clark how you build a team. Ray Burke will be talking on various subjects. I know one is government contracts, things like that, how we work with commercial property managers and getting commercial properties, high-end residential sales, all of that kind of stuff, okay? It's all business stuff to help you grow and build your business. So February 6th and 7th, that's the Difference Makers Conference right here in Houston. And then February 8th is hands-on training, where I can take you out on a job site or out in the field and show you the equipment and how we use the equipment, why we use the equipment, when we use that equipment, all of that kind of stuff, okay? And then don't forget the online video school as well. Over 200-something videos that you can take advantage of that. All of that stuff you can find at pressurewashingschool.com. If you have any questions about any of my training opportunities, feel free to email me, pressurecleaningschool@gmail.com, or you can call or text me at 281-883-3630. For any of the store products that we sell, equipment builds, things of that nature, you can email me, info@DougRuckerStore.com, or call or text us 281-612-1223. And by the way, we are located right here in Houston, Texas, right outside of about 30 minutes from downtown Houston, but up in the Humble Kingwood area in Porter, Texas. So if you're ever in the area, hey, stop in and say hello. Give us a shout. We'd love just to, even if you don't buy anything, we love just talking to folks and answering questions and helping them out as best we can. All right, so this is basically my tools that I carry around for any type of repairs we may need to make. I've got, a screwdriver set up here that can ratchet, and we have different types of course, fittings down here. These you can get at Lowe's. They're the cobalt brand. And then various, you know, other screwdrivers. I've got some pliers, some adjustable wrenches. Here is a 9/16, which is used for nozzles on surface cleaners. Another little utility knife, another set of dental picks, and we have over here more adjustable, just all kinds of little tools, nut drivers, stuff like that. Some little straps, zip ties inside, and then over here PVC cutters, Kleins. This is a garden hose nozzle that I love. These aren't available anymore, but we used to buy these from a guy out of Louisiana that made these, and they are the best garden hose nozzle I've ever had. Steel, not a steel, but a wire brush for cleaning off fittings of Teflon tape, stuff like that. Pair of Niplex pliers. These are the best little channel locks I've ever used. They work great. They're smooth, so you're not going to rough up a surface. I think down in here we have another one of the, that's a different setup for getting water out of a backflow preventer when needed. Some high performance spray, lubricant spray, way better than anything else you can get out there. I don't care if it's WD-40 or PB Blaster or whatever. That stuff is really, really good. This is a water irrigation key, and it would go down into the ground of a irrigation style box. Use this a lot on HOAs, shopping centers, so that we get water from the irrigation system as long as they have the irrigation tap set in. But this is actually called an irrigation water key, and so I have that. And then I've got a pair of gloves here just in case I need them. One of these pry bars, and then I have in here a little old Roundup measuring cup if I ever wanted to measure, you know, soap or whatever. I don't. We use the Texas measuring methods: 1 blob, 2 blobs. Now on certain chemicals, yes, I do precisely measure, but for the most part, like soap and stuff, it's just blob, blob, blob. So that's the tools that I carry around. And then usually sitting in here is also some spare soft wash guns that we use, and then also adjustable cone nozzles for air diaphragm systems. We use them on. You can use it on 12 volts, but you don't want to use it too much because it can choke the pump down. But these basically take your air diaphragm, like the King Slinger or the Big Slinger. There's some other systems, I think gas operated, you could use them on. But it basically takes your soft wash pump and turns it back into a pump out sprayer. So you can just turn this and mist onto a surface if you want to. We use these quite a bit when we're trying to control our overspray, especially around heavy landscaped areas. So we always keep a couple of those and a couple of spare soft wash guns. So again, you know, I'm big about having spares for everything because I don't want downtime on a job. If a gun goes bad, starts leaking, I just want to be able to slap another one on. They're all set up with the hoses and the guns to have banjo fittings. All right, so that's the toolbox. Let's get to the next one. All right, so this is the next one. This is kind of our property protection toolbox, PPE type thing. We've got some earbuds in here, ear plugs if you want, some more straps, zip tie straps that we use mainly for tying our trigger guns off or whatever when we're wanting to just use the ball valve to turn the flow on and off. We've got this face shield. These are really nice. Again, this is something I get off of Amazon. Started using these, I don't know, quite a while back. This is a brand new one because the other one's got kind of roughed up, but this will actually come up, so, and it will also come off, so you don't have to have the face shield on it, and you can just use goggles if you wanted to, but I've always used it with the face shield. Very comfortable, very lightweight, keeps all that mist and drips, and especially when it's a windy day, keeps it off of you. They clean up really nice. So that's, again, that's something on Amazon you can get, and I've got the Amazon link down below. Here's some gloves that we use. I got Raimondo got these for me actually off of Amazon. I don't have the link for it, but you can look up Aura Stout Toolant. These are great gloves. They're great in cold weather. Great for using when you're using the heater on your hot water machine. Love these gloves. Then I've got some chemical gloves if I'm ever mixing up chemicals or whatever, handling bleach. We've got those. Here's a mask that we use. I do have a link for this on Amazon for when we're dealing with especially sodium hydroxide, but also heavy concentrations of bleach we use. I should use it all the time, but I don't, but I should. But anyway, anytime I'm using sodium hydroxide, which is very rare, high concentrations of bleach or transferring bleach or whatever, it's the 3M with the cartridges that we use. Got some trash bags. We've got our blue duct tape, Amazon link for that we have. And then trash bags for covering items. Got some rubber gloves. Mainly use those when I'm doing window cleaning, just to keep my hands from getting all wrinkled and wet from the water. Another set of goggles. And then these are brushes we use for taking care of dirt daubers when we have jobs where we're going to hand scrub to remove the shadow stains. So that's what those are for. And I actually have a couple other brushes we use, but they're not in here. But anyway, so that's kind of the PPE safety type little toolbox that I carry. And these all basically just go in the back seat of my truck. They fit real nice in there. And so I'm talking about any of my toolboxes. I'll have a picture showing that too. So let's get to the next one. All right, my last kind of toolbox, and my favorite that I just absolutely love is the pipe Bice. I think this is called the Journeyman Toolkit with a bag or whatever. But this is a vise that I can use on jobs where I don't necessarily have to have one on my trailer anymore like I used to. You know, those always kind of started getting rusted out from the rain and all that kind of stuff, but found out about these pipe bices, started using it, and so we sell these. You can get just this if you want to, and a couple of tools, but I bought the whole kit. But this thing works really well. You can put pretty much any fitting, a lot of things that we deal with, injectors, 3/8 and 1/4 inch fittings, guns, all kinds of stuff. If you need to do a quick repair and need a vise, then this thing works great, and it's movable, and it's not going to move when you're putting pressure on it. And then inside the bag comes all kinds of different tools that you get with the whole kit. A lot of guys buy just this. We have just the pipe Bice by itself on the website, and then they'll buy just these pliers, because these pliers will work for anything that you need to tighten that we use. And as a matter of fact, I've got another video that we did with the developer and owner of pipe Bice that we'll throw that up in above in the card so you can watch it if you'd like to. And then these are just various different other ratcheting style type wrenches that you can use for taking on and off any type of fittings, pipe, whatever you need to do. These are going to cover it. And then this does not come with it. This is separate, but it's on our website too. It's a little micro mini I believe is what they call it. And we use that for putting on nozzles and any of the smaller things that we need to use. And so that's the pipe Bice setup, which is my favorite. It stays in the back of my truck pretty much all the time. And there's also a little mat in here that you can use to set up. So inside the bag is also a little mat. It goes in its little pocket right here, basically that you can fold out if you've got to be on the ground for your knees and to protect your knees or whatever, just to make it a little bit softer. That's very cool. So that's the pipe Bice bag that I use for a regular Bice, and it's got all the tools in there I could use. I could actually just carry this around if I wanted to, along with this, and make any type of repair I needed to out in the field and not have to carry all that. But I'm just kind of set my ways and still carry that too. All right, last but not least, I have 2 of these little canvas bags. These I got off of Amazon as well. I don't think I have a link for that one, but you can use anything you want to, really. And of course, the way I'm doing things, guys, may be totally different than the way you want to do them or do them. That's fine. This is just the way I do it, and just trying to show you some of the things that I carry. But I have on my rigs, like my trailer rig there, I have a 5, and I have a 10-gallon per minute machine. And then over here on my truck skid, I have the 8-gallon per minute machine. I also have this little 4-gallon per minute machine, and the only nozzles I carry on it is one of the C&R sharpshooter dual tips that I can use, either the sharpshooter long range nozzle, or I've got 2 nozzles on there that I can use for downstreaming, or whatever I need is for the 4-gallon per minute machine. Whatever I need nozzle wise is right there on the dual tip holder. Now, over here for the 5-gallon per minute machine, I have in this bag any type of nozzles that I would need for the 5-gallon. This is a little thing I'm testing out. A company sent me. So far it's working pretty good, but I want to run it through its paces before we actually start carrying and selling them. But all you have to do is push the button, and you can go from one side to the other. This is the 5-gallon per minute C&R sharpshooter long range nozzle, and then on there I actually have an 05, looks like an 0540. Don't have my glasses on, so I can't read it. And so these 05, they're like 0540, 0550, 0560. Love these nozzles because we can downstream, we can rinse, and they also have enough pressure that we can clean brick with without having to get real close to it. So they put out good water volume, good pressure, so I use those a lot. And so in here we have one of the A+ turbo nozzles, which is on the website. There's another little C&R setup. That's the one that I was using most of the time until the company sent me this, and so now I'm just testing that out to use it. And then I've got other, you can see in there, I've got other kind of nozzles that we might use for the 5-gallon per minute, yellow, green, original shooter tip, just all kinds of things for the 5-gallon per minute machine. So that's pretty much all the nozzles and things that I would use with the 5-gallon per minute hot water machine. And then in here, same thing for the 8 and the 10-gallon per minute pressure washer. So there's a turbo nozzle for the 8, sharpshooter again, J-rods, just all kinds of things, X-Jet, M5 twist. So all the nozzles and things of that nature in there, and also have some of the spare little adapter things I talked about earlier. So that's how I do my nozzles. Everything's kind of separated into what I would need, and I just reach in and grab which nozzles that I need. So I think that's it. Let me check and make sure. If not, I'll come back and close this thing out. Okay, guys, yeah, that's a wrap. I know one of the things I wanted to do, and I didn't want to make this video really long, but it's longer than I wanted to make it, is on the nozzles. I'll actually do a separate video showing you with 4 gallon per minute, 5 gallon, 8, all the various nozzles that we use, how they spray, why I use them, all of that kind of stuff. But that'll be a total separate video. And maybe we'll do it at the January 11th hands-on training when I show students what we use. So anyway, hope this has been helpful for you. Again, if you have any questions about our school opportunities, you can email me, pressurecleaningschool@gmail.com, or text me, call me, 281-883-3630. Anything about store products, you need an equipment build, a trailer build, a truck build, a skid build, whatever, or just anything about any of our products that we sell, you can email info@DougRuckerStore.com or call or text 281-612-1223. And let me stress this. When you call, it's usually my wife that answers, and if I'm available, I'll talk to you. If not, she's going to take a message, and I will return every single phone call that I get, usually within 24 hours, but usually that same day. I'm all about talking to customers, communicating with customers. I want to help you. I want to help you be successful. So I'm big on that. So just leave a message. If I'm not available, I promise you I will get back to you. Quickest way is always to email if you have questions at info@DougRuckerStore.com. But either way, we're here to help. We're here to communicate with you and talk to you, all of that kind of stuff. And so we are here for pressure washing contractors, people that are in the business. We're not here for homeowners to help them DIY their own project, because we just don't have the time to teach that end of it. So keep that in mind as well. And I hope y'all have a very, very blessed day, a very blessed new year. And if we can help in any way, then just give us a shout. All right, guys, don't forget, coming up, I always say that, don't forget, like you're going to forget. Maybe it's me that's going to forget. And I'm going to redo this. Check my nose, all that kind of stuff.